And unfortunately, the Democrats are in the majority, so they stop short.
Why are there motions to adjourn right now? What is the purpose of that on the floor?
What is the purpose of that? That the Democrats dropped a bill that's thousands of pages in the middle of the night last night that's $1.5 trillion. Gives people a little more time to read it. But it's not holding anything up. The things that are holding things up are the Democrats can't pass their own rule. I mean, they have the record for holding the vote open the longest. They have first place and second place. I don't know what they're trying for today. I know they got to retreat. No question today? Yes, sir.
Any update on your conversations with Congressman Gosar and Green?
Yes, I've talked to Green. I'm still waiting to talk to Gosar.
Folks, we got 10 news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. If you want to get the latest stimulus check information, then just keep on watching this video, because I have a ton of news just for you. First of all, folks, we want to discuss the most important things first. Here it is, the most important things first. A White House economic advisor said that negotiations over raising debt ceiling are an absolutely non-starter for Joe Biden. He also said that he's ready to discuss spending with the Republicans. Jerry Bernstein, a member of Biden's council, said on Fox that there is a separate set of discussions and negotiations over fiscal policy. We have our budget, we want to see Republicans have, we want to see what we can get done. And this discussion that the president is anxious to have with Republicans. Bernstein's comments comes as the latest positioning in a looming shutdown over the limit after Biden House Speaker met on February 1st, from what the White House called a frank and straightforward dialogue that will continue. The Republicans have said they want federal spending cuts in exchange for raising the debt. If Congress doesn't increase the ceiling by some time in June, well, the U.S. just risks another default instead. By law, the federal government debt cannot exceed $30 trillion. That's in a cap that was reached on January 19. And the Treasury has said it can hold out at least through early June by using special accounting maneuvers. And now the former Treasury Secretary and even Biden stand firm against hardline Republicans who are linking a debt ceiling increase to spending cuts. President Biden has already made it clear that Congress has a non-negotiable constitutional duty to avoid a default. And even an economic advisor to the former president said that Biden and McCarthy are aware of the stakes. But the question is, do Republicans care about this? Can they get something done in time? Can they stop the debt limit from going too high? Can they make anything happen? Well, now new state payments should be arriving for many of you guys. Colorado Governor Jared Polis, a bill signs a law that approved sending eligible taxpayers $750 checks and $1,500 checks to married couples. It was known as the Colorado Cashback Program. Many people have already received and reached the mailboxes, but if you got an extension on your tax return until October, then the Colorado Department of Revenue Taxation Division said you should receive your cash by this week, folks. And many checks have already been reached in mailboxes, and they have until October to get that and claim that. First of all, the Colorado Cashback Program is a refund. Just a refund of state revenues collected by the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights. This refund will be paid back based on the tax return or the property tax, rent or heat credit, or the rebate application that you filed. And according to Sarah Baines, a director for Family Economic Prosperity, many families are still feeling the impacts of this, combined with the rising cost of living, and people know that direct payments are one of the most impactful ways to help people out. The Colorado Department of Revenue have even explained that to receive a cashback, you must meet the following criteria. You must have been 18 or older, and also you must be a resident for the entire year. If you're eligible for the cashback program and don't receive a check within a few days, the Department of Revenue says to contact the website.
With us to pass this bill. They have been out there all weekend in 90-degree heat, sheltering themselves from thunderstorms as well as oppressive humidity. I've been down there to visit them 3 times now, and I can tell you they are exhausted. They miss their families. They want to go home, but they will not. They will not go home until the job is done. Because the suffering they are enduring now pales in comparison to the suffering they, their fellow veterans, or their fellow family members experience every day because of the injuries sustained because of the exposure to the toxins released at these burn pits. Last week, before it became clear that the PACT Act would fail, these families came to D.C. ready to celebrate. The mother-in-law of Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson, who died because of burn pits, came with Heath's daughter, Brielle, who was excited to finally celebrate her father's legacy finally coming to fruition. Instead, we had to explain to a crying 9-year-old girl why this would not be happening, why the Senate had failed them. So I don't want anyone to just listen to me rattle off a bunch of statistics or facts about burn pits. I want you to listen to these people, the family.
Maine stimulus comes with an assortment of amendments, including a one-time $90 bill credit for low-income customers of Central Maine, $800 in heating cost relief to nearly 13,000 low-income households to cover energy costs, and $1,400 in tax relief for eligible low and middle-income families and seniors. The governor announced this week that $200 million in household relief is on its way to over 500,000 New Mexico taxpayers. Taxpayers who receive funds through direct deposit are scheduled to receive at least $250 in relief in the next day. Now, these rebates will soon be issued out. Folks, do you think that President Biden will do more for the American people this year with stimulus checks, or do you think that he's holding it back? Tell me what you think in the comments below. More than 90,000 Connecticut households filed for the state's new child tax credit rebate in the program's first week. The Democratic representative announced this week that the applications from 90,000 households would benefit around 140,000 children from low and moderate income families. And the Republicans say that a new coalition of nonprofit service providers will help providers and households navigate the application process, which remains open through July 31st. State officials estimate roughly 350,000 Connecticut households are eligible to receive the $250 per child rebate, which the Department of Revenue Services is expected to send out in August. The maximum payment is $750 per household, and representatives said it will be a huge victory if 2/3 of those 350,000 households receive the rebate. It is available to single parents who earn less than $100,000 in 2021 and to two-parent families that earn less than $200,000. The full legislature and the governor settled this spring on a one-time child tax credit payment for $250 per child, up to a maximum of $750 per household. But the governor said that he would prioritize converting the rebate into an ongoing credit during the regular 2023 General Assembly session. Republicans have said that Lamont and his fellow Democrats in the legislature's majority are using the rebates as a political stunt to boost their campaigns, but Democrats counter that the rebates are providing needed relief when families are struggling with high gas prices and surging inflation. The governor signed a tax cut package into law that will send $1,000 for every child 5 and under to Vermont households, making $125,000 or less, with federal stimulus spending flooding the state's economy and boosting tax receipts. The Democrat-controlled legislature and the Republican governor agreed on something they're usually at odds over. Still, the party spent months of negotiating between competing visions, and a final compromise was not inked until the last day of the legislative session early this month. There was another blow delivered to the Biden administration with the release of a poor inflation report that showed consumer price growth spiked in May. The Labor Department's Consumer Price Index rose 1% last month alone and 8.6% in the 12-month stretch ending in